welcome to another episode of the Kick It Podcast, coming to you from Oceanside, California. I'm Louis Lope. I have my boy Victor next to me. We have Bruce and Lenz in the back producing, and Piccolo working on some shirts. And we have our special guests for this episode. We have Miss Joanne and Miss Chema. Thank y'all for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
How are y'all doing today?
Good.
We're doing really good, getting really just excited about all the upcoming events we've got happening.
Yeah, and I can't wait to get into that. But before we get into those events, for those that don't know who y'all are, would you mind giving us a quick introduction?
Joanne,
Okay.
Doctora.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Okay. Well, I'm Joanne Tawfilis, Dr. Joanne Tawfilis. I got my PhD at the age of 71, so never give up. I am the director of the UNESCO Center for Peace for California and Baja, also the founder of the Art Miles Mural Project, and I work out of the Pyramid Arts and Cultural Center, where we organize all kinds of events, including drumming circles, painting murals all over the world. So that's about it for me.
Awesome.
My name is Chema Navarro. I'm immersed in my own neighborhood in the East Side. I do a lot of events here in Oceanside downtown, and I've been living in Oceanside for about 40 years, so it's dear to my heart to try to do stuff for the community and to support nonprofits like Joanne's. So we do what we can for the people and especially for the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with both of you guys' resumes. Joanne, the PhD at 71. Yeah, people don't give up.
That's right.
And Chema, the stuff that you do with the community, because you were involved with the murals, right? At
Yeah,
Valderrama?
I helped Joanne out, and we did a lot of prep work and a lot of stuff. She's actually the facilitator to that mural project in Valderrama, so she did so much. She was overwhelmed with so much invoices and buying supplies and everything. I've never seen someone so vibrant at her age do so much for the community. Yeah, she's amazing. She's an excellent mentor.
Well, let's get a little bit more into that project. How did that project come around?
The Valderrama one?
Yeah.
Oh, well, she could tell the
Yeah,
story.
there was a contract that was put out for Landis Community Center and also for Valderrama. And we were all looking at doing 2 walls at Valderrama Park. Mm-hmm. And the artists, we invited a bunch of artists and muralists to come to Pyramid, the art center, to talk about what to do. The mayor was there. And out of the blue, they said, we don't want to do 2 murals. We want to do the whole park. So they said, we'll even do it for free. That's always a dangerous thing to say. So the mayor jumped on it and called the city manager on the spot. And he said, okay, as long as you keep it under this amount, whatever. She said, how much? And I told her that he said, how about 10,000 less? And we went, okay, we're going to do it for free. And I said, okay. They said they're going to do it. Anyway, so that's how it started. Mm-hmm. And then had a lot of help from the neighborhood artists. We wanted to ensure that we use local artists because it really is about the East Side community. And we started out with a lot of flack from the cops and from everybody else about the word pozole. And, a lot of people don't know that it's really soup, But anyway, we ended up collaborating and saying, okay, as long as we'll see if we can use it somewhere on the walls after we get going to make sure it's not offensive or doesn't attract a lot of problems, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You have to be really careful whatever you do out there.
Yeah, it was very controversial, but we had some help from the artists there. It was very emotional for me. I ended up writing 53 stories, and I'm going to publish the book. I'm going to get it printed this week. I got inspired by the young people that I met, the artists and the families and the people that came that were affected by the images that they saw. Even a young girl that was in foster care came with her foster mother and met her mother in the park. So I told that story. I mean, there was so many you'll see because I'm going to make sure you guys get a complimentary copy.
Definitely, please do.
Well, especially if it's complimentary. Yeah, we'll take 2 of those.
Yeah, okay. sure.
Thank you.
But we did this with a limited budget, and we had a combination of hand painting, brush painting. I know that you probably saw the Chavez Center, which was done by the Figueroa family, and then Jose and Sheila Robles did one whole wall, and it was a tribute to their family member that passed away. And I could go through all the names, but it ended up 40 artists. So that's what's making it difficult to try to give them a stipend. But there will be something, I feel like with Landis, I didn't even take a commission. I just turned it right over to the artist because I felt like I've been doing this project with Art Miles murals for over 27 years, and we've always done it out of our heart and our pocket. But my husband passed away, and now I got to pay for everything. So, but still, I do as much as I can to be generous and kind. And thanks to Chema and Vero Gutierrez, we had to know the history of the people and who lives there and who really lives there, and it ended up that we had some pretty good artists that came from the help of Mike Lagos, who knew all of the artists, especially the ones in Chicano Park. And by the way, 40 years ago, I painted in Chicano Park with Mario Terrero, and I'm the one who brought him up to Oceanside, where you see the eyes of Picasso on Artist Alley.
Oh, beautiful.
So, yeah.
Yeah, building bridges like that.
Yeah.
That is interesting. What were some of the complications you guys faced while doing this project in Valderrama?
Big shout out to Mike.
Yeah, I think it was time, right?
It was the time, but I think a lot of it was the oppression on certain murals that were done. The people, some of the new people in the neighborhood that aren't Raza weren't too familiar with what our culture is.
Okay.
So when they looked at something, right away they misjudged it. And for example, there was the one that one of the murals where one of the kids was playing marbles. Some of the people mistook it for throwing gang signs. Another one there was several of them, but a lot of it was oppression. Yeah. Those bandanas and Paneltons and anything that was part of our culture, Chicano culture or Mexican culture, was looked down upon because they didn't understand it.
Right.
So right away they judged and they were very upset. So they didn't bother to ask.
Right.
They just came out straight out and made a letter or called the city and said, "Oh, we don't like this. I don't want to come out to my house and look at this shit." And so meetings had to be made. They were talked to. They were spoken to, and until they were pleased.
We had 16 community meetings.
Dang.
Wow.
And so going through, the bureaucracy, I guess, is a fact that everybody has to follow. Although we've done, there's legal murals and then there's the illegal murals. So I understand that because I've painted all over the world. I've been to 64 countries. And they have aerosol murals everywhere, all over the world now. I happen to like graffiti art. I like all forms of art that has color and tells a story. So that's why we have 12 miles on canvas, and I've done about 50 walls. So, yeah, I'm old. It's kind of hard to climb up on a ladder or on scaffolding now, but I still do contracts and go to colleges and universities. But that did become a kind of a downer because I respect the art that comes from the heart. In fact, there is heart. The heart of the community became the mural at Landis. It was a young girl that was in the park, and she was sketching, and I saw the heart, and I said, "What is that?" One of the stories. She said, we lived in this neighborhood. My mother and father passed away in a car accident. I was sent to TJ into an orphanage, and I come back every now and then, and just so I could feel them. And I said, "Can I use your heart?" And I used her heart as a centerpiece for the one at Landis. And we got all kinds of problems with that too, because people complained that it looked like it was all what do they call it, AI kind of stuff. Well, we do. Everybody, all the artists use the Google things, and then you can modify them, and anything that's copyright free that's what it's for.
Exactly.
I mean, I think the blessing that we have at Balderrama, because it was 48 panels and 28 walls, is that we have a lot of original spontaneous art. I think so, because when the guy did that dragon in one day, and then the low rider, right? I mean, there's some beautiful stuff. Even the mural that was done by Paul Jimenez of Junior Seau, which everybody loves that mural because his heart was there, and his mom came, and the kids looked up. He did a lot for the kids, so we wanted to do the heroes and the sheroes.
Yes.
Yeah. So we have a women's wall.
Hell yeah.
But you know what? Overall, the entire project, the biggest thing that anybody should just not listening to is you can't please everybody. Everybody has a complaint, and you shouldn't try to make up for it, or try to be nice about it and change things for them.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's with art, and even sometimes with cooking, like it's subjective. It's like it comes down to your liking and your taste. And at the end of the day, like how you guys were talking about, just the whole entire paperwork process, I think that's the hardest part to get through, just to get to the art, because the art, it basically kind of speaks to itself on itself. So I'm just, I'm super stoked that you guys went through, got it finished, and made these parks, a little bit more involved with their community. Because there's this one mural that I like personally. It's the one that says, "There's no hood like fatherhood," and it's got
That's my favorite.
That's Jose and Sheila's.
That's one of my favorites.
That was one of the controversial walls, because he had painted a bandana and he was tying it on his son, and that's one of the ones they opposed to in the mural in the meeting. So he changed it and put the graduation cap on it. And that's really reflective of what's happening with you young people. You're getting a chance now to have educations, and in my day, which was a long time ago, we had to really, I was the first one in my family of 27 to be able to get a degree, or even graduate from high school. So, and just with the social media and being able to talk, I think that has saved your generations, because you can talk to each other. You don't have to listen to the bullshit lies that are out there. I mean, how many, I didn't even know, I grew up in a place that had all Native American names, and I didn't know that till I went to college, and I took a minor in Native American history. I went, oh, I live on a street with that name, and they went, those were named after Indians. We don't hear that, So when it came to that particular one, and I challenge you, one night when the sun is going down, walk down the middle of the field, and you will see that guy move, putting the hat on his son.
I'm gonna do that now.
Yep.
Call it the Sunset Challenge.
Yeah, the Sunset Challenge. Go
There
see
you go.
the mural.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, all right. Well, let me take it back to what you're talking about, social media. I don't think it's necessarily true that, because I feel like with how you said it is easier to communicate, but I feel like that has also made it easier to isolate ourselves as well, because you feel like you have so much quick access to people where everything is just like on overdrive when it comes to communication, and as well with like the information, you do have more information, but it's also easier to access like misinformation.
Yeah.
It's easier to put out different things that people see their opinion and they take it as truth, and then it just becomes everybody gets stuck in their little bubbles.
With
And
AI.
then,
I have been through that.
Yeah. You can't hug.
yeah.
Well,
You can't hug the phone.
people
or the
become
computer.
antisocial. They seem to believe everything that they read. They judge quickly, and the worst part is they lash out. They lash out and they bully and
Immediately.
That part.
without looking at both aspects of what really went on.
Yeah,
So,
it's just everybody has their opinion, and that's what we're sticking to.
yes.
Yeah. But, for basic things like, people have referred to Africa as one country, and there's 33 nation states.
Oh, well,
so
that's
you know.
Yeah,
that's
that's a
more of
continent.
that's more of an intelligence thing. I think.
Well, you'd be surprised. Look at who we voted.
I don't think there's much that can surprise me now.
I know.
But I want to ask Chema, how did you all link up? How did you link up with Joanne and with Ms. Vero? Shout out to Vero out there in the bag. We'll probably hear her giggling at some point. You know?
Oh my goodness, I can't even recall when we first met.
You had, well, you showed your son's work.
Yes,
came to a
we came to a meeting, and I had brought some of my son's work, and he's an artist also.
And how long ago was this? How long ago was this?
What? It's got to be
February.
about a year, right?
February,
Yeah, that's
ago.
a year, exactly a
Yeah.
year ago.
Oh,
After that, we kind of bonded.
1 year anniversary. Hey.
Yes,
Hey,
I
right here at the Kicker
know.
Labs.
Wow.
But it seems so much longer though, because we've
Yeah.
shared so much.
Yeah.
I've seen her heartaches. I've seen her cry.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen her. Yes, I have. She was very people that were talking bad about her, and I couldn't imagine how could anybody talk about this woman. She's amazing, but she's been through a lot, especially with this project. So I'm really grateful that this one project brought so much people in the community together, and it gave them a pride. They stood up when someone really hated one of the murals. The entire community, I mean, there could have been about 100 and some people that came together to come together and talk to this one person that objected to the art. So
What mural was that?
it was the mural. Actually, it was. There was a couple of them. There was a couple of them. Yeah,
Right, one
but
of
the
them was
handball
one
court.
with the bandana you were talking about.
No, and
Oh,
actually,
The
this
tops,
was
the
this.
handball court.
Yeah, the handball court, and on the other side, the big one. The big one that's just so beautiful. It tells a story of past and present, from the present time of Chicanos, Mexicanos, to indigenous Aztec or anything that, because we have so much indigenous, different. Each region in Mexico has its own.
Different indigenous
yes, exactly. So they were starting to paint on. Yeah, they had these really beautiful painting of the lowrider, and in the back where all the homeboys were at, it was really cute. Apparently, they thought that was like a gang affiliation, so they wanted it. After all the work he did, he had to paint over it and reduce some. What he did was even better than it was before. He had all the little homie faces, but then he turned them into shadows, kind of like the significance of we're still here. You cannot brush us over, or you cannot, because we're still here. Because what's happening in the community is, not to talk anything bad, but there's a lot of widows that are moving in that want changes, and they want to take over the neighborhood and change it. How can I say, like gentrification, right?
A little bit.
And
You
the
have a
people
lot
in
of
the community,
You
yeah,
have a
they're
lot of
fighting
people
it.
moving in that don't understand the culture and the way that things are done in Oceanside. And,
Exactly.
And then, they're like, oh, they get all mad about it. I was
Yeah.
like, nah, bro, you came here. We were already here. Like, be yourself, but also accept how we are as well. Like,
Exactly.
Yeah, because to them, it's just a piece of real estate,
Yeah.
So if
That's what it is.
But for everybody that knows the neighborhood, it's more than that. The Nopalito's been there for who knows how long. That Chicla's been there for ever. All of that.
I used to get my Dragon Ball Z stickers from you.
Yeah, and they don't understand that. They just see it's like, oh, we should fix it up, or we should make this and that, change it.
But
Let's
the
call
impact.
let's not call it no palito anymore. Let's call it a little cactus.
Oh, yeah. Let's change it.
The impact, let me tell you a real quick story. Just a few weeks ago, Angel, one of the guys, and he also helped paint the columns on the gazebo. I walked in, the sun was going down again, and it was cold, but there was a white table lined up with beautiful tablecloth and pink ribbons on chairs, and they were using the gazebo that's on the far end by the playground. There you go. It's a place to bring your family
Right.
and celebrate your culture. They had all the good food and all that stuff out. and it wasn't always that way. So to me, when people come in and say, "Oh, how beautiful," and it is a showstopper. People, while we were doing it, would stop their cars and go, "Wow, look at this," when we're doing the women's wall. But to have the children, like she said there, with the Hope Wall and all of that there, I think is really what it's all about. It brought the community together. That was one of the goals of the contract, and to help economic development so they'd have pride in the neighborhood and other people would do it. And we've seen murals starting to pop up, so I think we fulfilled what the objectives of that contract was. Now, I took it very personally, and she's right. We made some wonderful friends. I feel like I have a lot of godchildren, and Chema and Vero and I call ourselves the three witches of East Side. Because we've had
witches?
Just a magic, we got to stir the pot, and say, hey, no, we're making pozole.
Gotta make that magic soup.
Joke out of it.
They just might eat some pollo, dog.
It is a celebration or a hangover soup, so you can have it any way you want.
It's a really big change from what it used to be when I was a kid. I first came when I was like 16, going on 17, when I first moved to the community with we moved. And
Where did y'all move from?
Solana
Okay.
Beach. Before we were in Tijuana, and we were in Tijuana, and then we moved to Solana for a bit, and then we eventually, like my family, bought a home right there in Pozole. Back then, you couldn't even go to the park. My son went to school there, and he was born and raised right there in Pozole. And it was really bad back then, but it has changed a lot from then to now. You actually see the güeros in the park with their little dogs and stuff. And before, they would not even think about stepping into the park. It was considered by the Reader magazine the most dangerous park in Southern California.
Damn.
Number one. And now they can't claim that anymore. It's like everybody loves it now.
You take that, San Diego Reader.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of changes. Well, but since you guys were talking about community, I mean, you guys are really deeply involved with the community. You guys actually have a event coming up, right? I believe it's March 8th, Saturday, March 8th?
International Women's Day.
Yep,
Right.
it's time to honor all the ladies, all the young girls, and we're putting on an event to honor all these women, make it a safe, kind of like a good experience where a woman can be comfortable, meet other women, mentors, successful women, people who are interested. There's a lot of resources and stuff, a lot of giveaways and raffles, and a light salad bar.
Salad bar.
Yes. Everybody's always on a diet except for me.
What makes us different?
Seafood diet.
I don't want the lettuce. I don't want the lettuce. I want the
She
tacos.
makes tamales and empanadas. Oh my
Yeah.
God!
That's my kind of food.
Don't make me
Yeah,
hungry.
that sounds good, actually.
Oh, wow, wonderful. But what makes this one different is we're honoring local women. It's always the same people that get honored, because everybody knows somebody and whatever, women of achievement. But you know what? We have our own local heroes, sheroes in our neighborhoods who do a lot. We're talking about the mayor who got reelected and had to fight hard on that one. But, our keynote speaker is Ana Siqueiros. She's the grandniece of the famous artist Siqueiros. And she's going to be talking about overcoming adversity, which as women, whether you believe this or not, from your moms, your sisters, your aunties, your grandmother, we have a lot to do when it comes to raising families
Oh,
and
absolutely.
all that. So it could be, fighting for your job, or what's going on now with everybody's very fearful about what's going to happen. I won't get political. But,
You could get political. We
it's like...
we ain't afraid of that here.
Well, I'm afraid. So I'm afraid for some of the people because I'm a first-generation American, by the way. But, I'm just waiting for someone to come up to me and say, where's your papers? And I don't know what I'm going to do, but,
People are very bold nowadays.
Yeah.
When they see you, if they see a brown face out there, like the other day when I was shopping, some lady, of course, Abuela, comes up to me and says, "Do you know English?" And I'm like, I felt like saying something else, and I said, "Yes, I do. What can I help you with?" And so I had to answer her stupid questions, but
What were some of those stupid questions?
she just, it was just stupidity. She was just, I think she was just trying to see if I was unable to speak English, she probably would have said, "Well, why don't you go back to your country or whatever." But I was hoping she would say something about it. But I'm like, no, I'm too old for this. I cannot fight anymore.
Yeah.
I did as a kid, and I'm not going to fight anymore as an old lady.
Well, another example of that is I'm very pro-Palestinian. I've had Palestinian neighbors when I was a little kid, and I know all about the history, and now you see what the genocide has done. I was wearing the kufaya, the black and white scarf, in Costco. And I was looking at something, and this lady came behind me and yanked me back by the scarf. And then she raised her hand and she called me a name. And she thought I was Palestinian. Here I'm usually taking this Mexican. Anyway, she was going to hit me, and some guy came up and saw her do that, and he grabbed her hand to stop her. But they are, like you say, they're getting bold.
Yeah, because it is now with this new administration, it's becoming the normal thing to not hold back anymore. You could say whatever you want and it'll be okay. Yeah. But on social media, there's a lot of how can I call them, superheroes that go out and they see these little circumstances. They find the people and they try to take care of it. So social media is good for one thing.
Yeah, we're going to be honoring, I won't say names because we want to save that for the day.
Oh, yes.
But we're
already
honoring...
mentioned a couple names.
Yeah, you might as well just let
Honoring
it
a
out.
lot of sheroes,
Yeah, there you go. Okay, well, I mentioned Ana Siqueiros because she is the keynote speaker, but, we are going to honor Olivia Chilcote, who is Lisueño, Native American. It's a tribe that is state recognized but not federally recognized, and she wrote Forgotten in California, Recognized in California. I can't remember the name of the book.
Yeah, she has an amazing book.
Yeah, and she's beautiful, PhD, a professor there. I wanted to get young women to see, you can have it all. Because
Right.
to me,
A good
Mexican
mentor.
women or Latino women are just gorgeous. So whether they're old,
You were there.
she's old now, she said I'm old, or young, they're absolutely stunning. And then we have also African American women. I think you call her Mama G. She's Karen Williams Graham. And she worked at Motown, and she does a whole lot for youth, especially disabled youth and autistic children. And then a retired school teacher, and she runs a senior program, Linda Callis. And she started her own business at the age of 75, and it's called Floating Hearts Connection. And she's in charge of the garden that she's trying to establish at the new stadium. And Chema, for her work with the neighborhood, and she's on so many committees I can't even get her to come.
How many committees are you in, Chema?
Well, I try to be involved like in the ENA, which is East Side Neighborhood Association. I'm also on the commission for community resources and such. So I'm one of the commissioners, and I also go where I'm needed. Like if the mayor needs some help in some kind of event, I help out.
And where were you today?
Where was
The
I?
meeting?
Oh, yeah. Dia de Muertos. I'm also the director. I'm the new president since,
And
well,
she's
last
in
year
the
I got it.
Car
Yeah.
Club
Yeah, and then the Por Siempre Car Club, and then I've got,
and Day of Children.
so you know more. Yeah. Dia del
She's already trying to
Niño.
remember.
Dia del Niño, or Noche Mexicana,
Yeah.
and Dia de los Muertos, all those kind of things. Keep busy all the time.
Yeah.
And with your help, thank you very much.
Yeah.
You know,
we try.
always involved in the community. That's
We
what I like
try,
about you
We
guys.
try to be as much as we can.
Yeah, I know. I think you're the only ones that step up and join in these events. sometimes with no pay even, which we appreciate.
Yeah,
You know, we're on a
cuando se
tight
puede.
budget, but they're helping us out.
Cuando
Which,
se puede, se puede. You know?
yeah, well, I already give you the list so that way you can, jot down the dates.
Yes, we have. Yeah, we looked. I was like, oh, okay, this is how much we could charge. All right, cool.
Yes,
cool.
yes.
So anyway, it's going to be our effort to, since I am the director of the UNESCO Center for Peace for California and Baja, I will be providing a certificate, a beautiful one in a letter so they can put it in their portfolios. I know it's just a way of recognizing people who are, to me, unsung heroes. That's why we call them sheroes. Everybody looks up to Junior Seau, but we don't play football, but we play political and household football. So,
Right.
But no, there's so much that should be done more on that level. I think that each city should start doing this and helping to recognize these community advocates. Mothers who work and still raise families and do all these other things. She's raised her children and they're serving in our country in the military. And look at all, you heard what she does, And I'm almost 80 and I still climb up, God forbid, scaffolding and go all over the country doing murals. And now I'm trying to turn all that over because there's a time
Right.
when we have to turn over what we do. That's what it's about. One time someone says, oh, they're doing murals. You're the one that does the murals. I go, hey, the more murals, the better.
Yeah.
And I said, that's what we're supposed to do. We teach. Even when I worked for the UN, I retired from the UN. And by the way, I survived getting stabbed.
I was about to get into the United Nations
Yeah,
after this.
there you go. Yeah, we can do that later. But you know what? If we don't do this, then we'll never be able to stand up against these evil people that are doing genocides and, billionaires that trying to knock us out of our programs that we need for like Medicare and Social Security and all that good stuff. So it's not just about East Side neighborhood. It's a microcosm of what's going on in the rest of the world. And going from all over the country, the 64 countries I've been in, it's not much different. We all still have young people and elders having to fight for their rights, but people, the governments we're not supposed to be ruled by them. They're working for us.
Right.
And we have to remember that. Right?
Right.
But going back, you did mention that you have worked with the United Nations. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, in fact, I retired with a combination of military as a civilian, and then I switched over. I started out as an illustrator, and when I couldn't get any further, I started doing other. I won't go into that, but I did get recruited by State Department. I went to work for the International Atomic Energy Agency, and these are the people that do the safeguards inspections, and they also do peaceful application of nuclear energy, like, the getting rid of the fruit flies and the radiation therapy and stuff for people with cancer, of which I am a beneficiary. And then I worked for the United Nations Environment Program in Nairobi, and I was a big advocate for environment, and that's where I got stabbed. I got carjacked and stabbed, but before that I had military training on self-defense, so I was able to fight off 4 different guys.
Oh, dang.
And I got stabbed, and then I got medevac.
How did you get into that situation?
Oh, I was driving a car that I wasn't supposed to, because we were supposed to have it was a governing conference at the United Nations Environment Program in Nairobi, and my roommate was an environmental attorney, and she forgot her speech, so I said, I'll go get it. And I couldn't find the driver, so I got in the car because it wasn't that far away, and trying to drive on the other side, it was like, but I got forced off the road by some marauders that actually were hired to follow me because there was a lady that wanted my job, a former member of the Nazi party that had moved to Argentina, a Latin woman from Argentina. Later on, they found out about it when they did the investigation. But when they tried to carnap me, they got me out of the car. I just, one of them had my hands behind the back, and the other one ripped my blouse, and two guys were going through the car, and I just leaned forward because I could hear that military guy telling me what to do, calling me a bitch. Lean forward, bitch. And then the guy went flying. And so when I started climbing up the little hill where the car had been pulled down, I fell into a knife. So they medevaced me to the UK, you know. And then after that, I went to Bosnia, and that's where I started the mural project, because I worked with the widows of 10,000 missing men that went missing in 2 days. So the first mural was painted on a bedsheet full of bullet holes by 350 orphans. Whoa. I've seen so much. And I was there a week. Princess Diana had been there, was there. I got to meet her, shake her hand. And then a week later, these women were trying to show me what they were doing to rebuild their lives, and they were going to open a restaurant, and we went through Serbian territory, and they hit a landmine. I had to do PTSD, because if you've never seen it, you know, it's just horrible. You know, anyway, there were a lot of things that happened in my life like that, but yeah, I'm a real testimony of I want to live, you know. So,
Survivor.
Yeah, a survivor.
What are some of the ways you're able to get through tough moments like that?
Art, whether it's music or painting, and that's what I started out as, and getting my degree at the age of 71 in fine arts. It was an honorary degree at Cal State San Marcos. I had a master's. I did study art and had a bachelor's, and then I did a master's in business. I don't know how to do business, because I kind of did all the work for these engineers, and they did all anyway, I shouldn't talk about that.
You had like all the experience and all the knowledge,
you know,
just not the paperwork for it.
Well, no, you know what you need is you need people to help you. Nobody does anything alone successfully. Right. I don't care if you're a very famous musician, you got other people that work with you and make you sound good, singers and backup music. Look at your team here, you know? And that's true, families. And that's the one thing that I'm very pro-family, because I was in a foster home as a child that was horrible. The lady had 2 kids die under her. So I feel lucky. And I know that when it's my time, and I do pray. In fact, I'm really bad, because I only pray when I'm in trouble.
Most of us do.
Yeah, a lot of people do, actually.
No.
Are you there, God? It's me. It's your boy, Louie.
There you go. Hey, Woody. And you rescued Woody too, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
hey,
I did.
Chewie, are you up there, man?
And he's up there taking care of you guys. I know it. I can feel it. See?
Yeah.
He's going, what are you doing with these 2 witches in here? The other one outside.
We're going to take all those tattoos off of you, Woody. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, if you guys were still paying attention, take some notes. Joanne dropping knowledge, and a true shiro, at least I think, in this episode, because, wow. Hey, my head off to you, ma'am. Wow. Beautiful story.
Absolutely. What a survivor of all these. She's got a million stories.
But everybody
she's
does.
amazing.
We all have, everybody has a story, you know? Even the people that painted those murals. Every one of them. That's how I ended up with doing 53 stories.
Yes.
Yeah. And you'll get to read them.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
And lastly, so for March 8th, what time does that event start?
11 o'clock.
Okay. Wow.
And we
11
hope
o'clock.
women will come out for that. It's a free event, and Car Club is sponsoring the salad buffet, and we look forward to it, to get our sisters and mothers and cousins and aunties and abuelas and
Yes.
everybody out there, because we need a day to do that. We need to pat ourselves on the back.
Especially with so
much.
much oppression for women at this time. It's kind of like a safe haven to come and mingle and get some freebies and giveaways, raffles. So it starts at 11. Who knows what time it'll end, but yeah.
We are going to do what we always do. We're going to pay it forward, and we're painting a mural for the first responders and the fire victims in LA. So the women will paint a mural, and I'll send it up to Creative Visions and Kathy Eldon, and her house survived in Malibu.
Right, yeah, we just
Yeah.
We just did a mural, we did the painting not too long ago, about a month or so back, at your place.
Mm-hmm.
It was a pretty awesome place.
Yeah.
It was a pretty awesome piece. It was beautiful.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
They're all beautiful.
Yeah.
When people ask me what's my favorite, I go, I don't have one. They're all beautiful. They come
Everybody
from
pours
here.
their heart into
Yeah.
it, so they're all special. There's not one better. Even if you think you're a lousy painter or an artist, whatever you create is always beautiful because you put yourself into it.
That is very true. And I have another question aside from all that. As older people, what is something that you guys see? What are some of the main changes you guys see from your generation to the younger generation, and like good and bad?
Yeah, loaded question there, Louis.
I got a big book of that. There's so much. Well, differently is the way that women and the men treat women, the way social media is. It turns you into, like what you were saying before, like a hermit. Everybody's on their phones while you're eating dinner. Instead of enjoying each other's company, everybody's on their phone.
Right.
In all restaurants that you see, there's everybody's on their phone and nobody's talking, enjoying each other's presence. Because as you know, we're already old, and we've learned to grow up without any kind of phones and all that kind of stuff. You see babies and strollers and in shopping carts at the store with a phone, and they're like, they know what to do. Even stupid cats and birds, they're still pecking away and going like this. I mean, you look on social media, and there's like birds scrolling through, and it's like, oh my God, they should be out there chirping or walking around or stuff like that. But it is way different. Back when I grew up, we worked hard. We started working at 10 to 12 years old, and we haven't stopped.
Right.
We worked hard. We had chores. We had responsibilities. And now we see that the kids are just getting away with everything. It's like, put them to work and teach them values, to teach them manners, most of all.
Yeah.
So there's a big difference. So
All right. What about the good stuff?
Good stuff is
Good
you're
stuff.
better looking.
oh my gosh.
We were nerdy looking.
We just got more filters,
That could be it,
We
yeah.
have
one.
5 filters on these cameras right
Oh,
now.
good.
Well, see? Takes a few years off my raggedy, haggy face.
No, I think one of the good things is that the youth of today are a lot smarter, more intelligent, because we were put into in only what you're going to learn in that classroom, and nobody, as a first generation American especially, we didn't know a whole lot. Now, that is the good part of the social media, but like she said, the bad part is you can't hug your computer, you can't look in each other's eyes, you can't bend over and give a kiss or hold a hand or whatever. But
Romantica.
I think that young people are healthier, and you know what I really like? That Hope Wall says a lot, because to me, the younger generation will speak up. They're not afraid of authority, challenge it. When the cops say you can't use a Pozzoli word or you can't use a Pendleton, what? Where I come from in Connecticut, Pendletons are sought after because you can't afford them. They're poor people, and they're beautiful. They're warm, and they look good, and whatever. But who tied that name to the symbolism of it, Just like the soup. That's why we have a big wall
That's
with a
what's
lady
called-
and with the soup, with the fumes of the soup coming out there. So there's a way to get around it, and young people are really good at coming up with good ideas, much better ideas. And traveling, I think, is more affordable, and by traveling, young people can get out and go back and forth and see where they came from and their parents came from. Because you know what? Mexico's not a third world country. I just came back from La Paz, and wow, it is gorgeous, And anywhere you go, you learn more about different cultures, and that's what I think is good. A lot of young people are willing to go travel. Where in the old days, we didn't even want to get on airplanes, right?
Right.
Well, they used to explode back then.
I mean, they still do.
Well,
Not
yeah,
they just
you're true.
disappear.
Or turned over.
Not true.
No, but the ratio of how many accidents there are in airplanes compared to car accidents is little. You know, and if you're going to go, hey, that'll be quick. If you can't go to sleep, then blow up. Gosh darn it.
Oh my gosh.
That's my attitude.
No thanks. I'll let you do that. I don't
I like that. That's a good motto. If you can't go to sleep, just explode.
Yeah, there you go. You know, and I can say that after seeing it.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a little
and
bit
I
dark
thought,
humor.
no, the women in the car in front of me that hit the landmine. You know, I for up until maybe 2 years ago, I couldn't even talk about it because what I saw was horrific. But then I thought, wow, their spirit. You know, as we went back, you know, drove back to where the headquarters were, because we weren't supposed to be there anyway. I started thinking about that, and then about 2 months later, when we actually went for the real opening, because they didn't want to do anything right away, I could feel those women. You know, so now I believe that the spirit. And when my husband passed away, sometimes I have to ask him permission. You know, I'm seeing this guy. What do you think? You know, the spirit's there. So if,
Not in my bed.
oh well, you would be surprised. One day I'm gonna go, oh shit, she was right. Excuse my language. But,
Go ahead, Joanne.
yeah.
Nah,
We have permission.
Say it all, fuck it. With the pH, you know.
The pH, yeah.
Once you reach a certain age, it doesn't matter. Just say whatever you want.
Okay, women of a certain age can say whatever. they
Yeah.
want.
Once you hit a certain age.
What is that certain age?
Well, 50. At 50, you can start, but by like our age, you were like. Well,
Oh, you're a baby. My daughter's your age.
No, that's no.
Yeah.
No, I'd say once you turn 55, you can say whatever the heck you want, wear whatever you want, do whatever you want. It doesn't matter. Like I said, I'll be dead soon, so it doesn't matter. Do whatever you want.
Oh.
Well, you never know. Here today, gone tomorrow, right? So you enjoy everything you
That's
can
not
That's how
today.
fast time goes. Though.
Exactly. Time goes by super
Hey,
fast.
but 80, I can appreciate Art 101, Art Appreciation 101. Look how handsome you guys are. See?
Just 'cause he's light-skinned.
Yeah, you got them all. Aw.
No, and that's the other part. It's wonderful being around such good-looking young people. It gives you hope. That
Hope.
the
You must
wrinkles,
have grown
the
up with
wrinkles are
some.
starting. Huh? Like, hey, half Italians, they wrinkle early. The other side doesn't. But you know what? The people, the population here is very good looking, and I think that makes a difference. And, you know, coming from New England where everybody's grouchy until they get to know you, then they're going to be your friends for life.
You're from
But in
New
the
England?
meantime, they scream at you and they make these ugly faces and they don't trust you and all. Yeah, Connecticut.
Oh.
It's a blue state though. Oops.
Oh, no wonder.
Yeah, East Coast to
Yeah.
West Coast, it's a little bit different, especially
Yeah.
because of the weather mainly, I think.
There's a big difference. The people from east side, from the east and from the west, big difference. I think we're more lax,
Yeah.
We're more natural hippies.
Yeah, I think that's yes.
My
Until
husband-
we get pushed, then it's like,
Oh,
all
then
right, well.
then
My husband was Egyptian, and when he came here and he saw girls wearing thongs on the beach, he went, "Oh my God!" But he kept looking.
yeah. That's only
Yeah, I
normal
know.
for you know.
Well, we do the same thing, though.
Not me.
Not
Not me. No.
She looks ahead, so that way when they walk, she's already looking there,
Okay.
so it's technically.
I don't even. It doesn't interest me.
No, I'm too busy. We're too busy right now. That's
Yeah, no thongs for Chema.
No, nothing.
She's
Nada.
got Manuel, and he's a cutie. He's got dimples, and they've been together since high school.
Oh,
Her husband and she.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Another hope.
that's not easy to do.
No, not in this day and age.
No, you just got to spend a lot of time away from each other, so that way you can do what you want and
Yeah.
find yourself and stuff like that, and a good
Everybody has
supportive
to have
partner.
Their own space.
Yeah,
Well, my husband was my full-time partner. He gave up his business.
the
to
love of
work
your
with me.
life,
Yeah. Everybody should have the love of their life.
even if it's a little dog or a little cat or something, anything, as long as you have something you love.
Yeah. There
Yeah.
you go.
Yes, sir.
And obviously, you guys love this because you're doing great. I think it's wonderful, and I think would never have happened in my day. I mean, I got in when my kids were doing this with the turntables, whatever, and I'm going, "What are you doing to those records?" You know.
1980s.
Stop!
Don't scratch the records.
Right.
That's
Wait,
the
hold on.
sound.
That
That's-
sounds pretty cool, actually.
It does. I
and
like it.
it's still going on.
Yeah.
And we can still dance.
Yeah, there you go.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Ultra Quito, but we can.
Okay.
That's why they have a danza de los viejitos in Michoacán, no?
Oh,
I
yeah,
think it's
yeah.
Oaxaca, no?
I do. Well, the dance from the viejitos is from Michoacán.
Yeah,
Uruapan,
okay.
Michoacán. I know that because my mom's from there.
Wow.
I already walk like that. I don't need to know the dance. I got my cane.
Oh man! Well, everybody that's tuning in, don't forget we're here with Joanne, we're here with Chema, and so far it's been a great episode. Hopefully everybody out there has enjoyed it so far. Great stories, and don't forget, show up March 8th to the Oceanside Civic Center to recognize all these heroes that do art in our community.
It's
Yep,
all
it's right
complimentary. Yep.
It's covering me and Joanne right now.
Aw.
That's all right.
Oh, well, we keep the best for the.
That's right. Beauty and the Beast here.
No.
Yeah, that's great.
But thank you for having us. We
Yes,
appreciate
thank
you
you.
getting
Oh,
us.
thank you, ladies. It was a great time.
Greatly
Wonderful.
appreciate it. We'll be back.
Yeah,
We'll-
but before we end the podcast, I do have one more question because we haven't gone into it. Can you tell us a little bit more about the Art Miles mural project you've mentioned a couple of times?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, we started out making the first mural on the bedsheet full of bullet holes with 3 different entities. And then we had a blank wall in the gallery in Austria where my husband and I lived, but I would travel to Bosnia, the former Yugoslavia, and that's where I met the widows and their orphans. And then kids started coming in, and we said, oh, why don't we make a whole lot of murals? We'll keep it going. So they did. We did about 100, and the schools started sending them. So we started out with Peace, Unity, and Healing Mile. There's 440 murals per mile, and they're 5 feet by 20 feet long. And there is a a TED Talk that I did called Painting Outside the Lines. So if you check that out, you can hear the whole story and you'll see samples. But we kept going, and that was 27 years ago. So right now, like I say, I'm looking at La Paz. I just came back from there to open a museum. I've tried. Oceanside, just not interested, and it's so expensive. So, but they welcomed us with open arms down there. But we've done them all over the world. And we do murals in response to every human and natural disaster, every school shooting, every tsunami, fire, whatever. They're healing murals that we do as well. And we do them not so much just to send to the people who receive them and know that we're thinking about them, but we feel it too. Who can stop crying when you see how many children were killed in kindergarten in Uvalde and Sandy Hook and stuff like that? And it means a lot because with Sandy Hook, my husband animated the murals that were done here at Impressa Elementary. And then the governor had us screen them at the state capitol with the families. And at first I was like horrified because everybody was crying and I didn't want them to feel sad. And then they all came up and hugged us and said, thank you, you've immortalized our children, and we know that people all over the world feel it, and and they're still. I've stayed in touch with them, and doing projects with them too, and it's like that everywhere. I'm so busy, it's crazy, but even the Tara art materials that used to be here on this side of the border moved across, and before they did, they loved our project so much they donated. The most expensive commodity next to paint was canvas, and we have some. So if any of these starving artists need canvas, I gave all the major artists at Landis canvas. I'm going to do the same here. We'll roll it up and give them. It's all pre-gessoed and whatever. But we do them everywhere. We can do one for your wall if you ever want special ones.
Cool.
You guys could even do it together. We'll put Woody on it.
That sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, but that's what we do. They're meant to help people. They're more for healing and goodwill, and so the stories that go with them, because I've written 250 other stories with those murals. So yeah, I hope that I can turn over the legacy. And my whole goal is that we are going to take those murals. We're going to we have a foundation that we're setting up, and then we'll have licensing. We'll do licensing contracts for the images, and then the money that comes in from that, we can donate to expand your studio for other artists to be able to do things. That's how my husband and I intended it. We haven't had any funding. This was the first contract. Maybe we've had 500 or 600 over the 27 years, but we're doing this so we can pay it forward. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's still in progress, but hopefully everything works out, and you maybe, like you said, we can even get a mural here.
Yeah, sure. You can have themes if you want.
Yeah. What would be the theme?
Yeah, you can have several.
Wrinkles and waves.
There you go. Kick it. I love the name.
No,
Kick
thank
It
you.
Labs. That is really cool. And you guys are kicking it.
Yeah,
Truly.
That's what we're doing right now.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, this is our lab. We do experiments emotionally, sometimes mentally. Like, it's a whole different thing that we got going on here. Like, now I kind of want to get a PhD myself.
You can.
Yeah.
Look at her age. When she got it, you still can.
Did you know who Freddie Chavarria is, the former principal at Laurel Elementary? He went and got his. He left Laurel,
Chavarria.
but he's at the high school now. But
I think I might know him.
And Olivia Chakotay, she's young. She's doing this. She wrote this book. I mean, you can do it whenever you want. And I went all the way up to writing a dissertation, and then I didn't have to finish or present it because they said your life's work is so good. We're going to do this, and the year I got it was the only PhD that they gave out. So, it doesn't. I mean, for me, it has opened doors for credibility. But for you young people, it has a lot more meaning. Because first of all, education shows that you did something serious and you pursued it, and you needed that sheepskin to get in the darn door. And for equality, because if you're going to go against white people who go to Ivy League schools, you have your certificates for graduation, and say, hey, I'm going to compete at the same level. My EEO officer, who was Mexican, told me that like 45 years ago when I first started out working. You're not going to get equality till you can have, it's like playing baseball. You got to have the same tools. And I took that seriously. I always wanted to do it. And my husband wanted me to do it. Then we got busy, and then he passed away. And I said, I got to keep busy. And I kept doing murals at Cal State San Marcos. We do it with handicapped people out at Mountain Shadows. With blind people, we do about 25 to 50 murals every year at the Aquarium of the Pacific. Now we have over 500 of sea themes. So Surfrider should do an exhibition or whatever. And I wanted to get the rec center to use it. You know what I really wanted to do? I don't know if you're recording this, but I don't care. I think the rec center is so underutilized at Valderrama. That would make the perfect first mural museum in the world. It's got the beams running across. You can hang them. You can make, what do you call them? The things that you have to walk around and all that. And then use it. And then still everything could be, you could still do classes. But I understand the plan is that one day they're going to knock it down and make maybe a basketball court or something.
Indoor basketball.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're just going to make more apartments, let's be honest.
I did not know that. Yeah, because I think they used to have like after school programs or something.
They still do.
Oh, okay.
But they're not very well attended.
Well, no, they're not. I think what they need is just a little bit more funds. But now that everything's getting cut down, now it's
Yeah.
up to the community to try to make things happen.
Yeah, that's why I say it would
Wow.
be an income generation project. You could, I would donate the whole collection to the East Side Neighborhood Association, not to the city. And they could run that museum. Young people could have jobs. I could teach them curating and how to run a museum, and it would evolve. We could project. We have a YouTube channel with over 50 videos about people making murals all over the world. I have so much material, posters. We've been before. We did a shoe project too, where we painted shoes, 60,000 pairs and distributed. So if that was there, then you wouldn't be having anybody building apartments around it, because you'd have
there was like some
tourist
kind of like value to it type of thing.
So I asked the mayor about it, but we're they're gonna knock it down, do something else, and I'm going, oh well. There's a stage there. You can do performances. You can do music. Have a drum circle there. You could have all kinds of stuff.
Right. Maximize the space of it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Utilize it better. Oh.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, I think we're just making up plans now.
What happened?
Yeah. We better start making some changes out here.
Well, Joanne, Chema, thank you so much for joining us for this episode. We appreciate y'all coming through.
Yeah, thank you guys for your time and for sharing your stories.
Talking and what everything y'all do for the community. It's definitely not overlooked.
Thank you very much. Like I said, thank you for having us. We enjoyed talking to you guys. It's always good to talk to the younger generations and see how good you guys are progressing and doing like what you do now for the community.
No, thank you.
We're not the only ones that work for the community. You two to get the word out and stuff.
And one last word from me is when people say, how come you do all this and you don't get paid? And there was a young man he ended up dying because he OD'd. But one day he was painting with some Native Americans sitting on the floor. I said, so Jose, how do you feel? How do you like it? And ever since then I remembered it. And I thought, you know what? This is what we get from the work that we do. The work that you do, it's 2 words. Awesome joy. Isn't that neat?
Yeah.
Don't you love what you do? You're one of the lucky groups.
It makes me feel awesome, and I definitely enjoy it.
Yeah, there you go. Awesome joy. So that's it.
Awesome joy.
Chema, any last words?
No, I think everything has been said. Thank you again, and make sure to come to the event. All the ladies, it's complimentary, and
guys, it's $5.
Huh?
Like, guys,
No,
it's
it's
$5.
No, just come
Just
on
kidding.
down, enjoy the
Just
day.
kidding.
We'll make it a yearly thing if women feel comfortable enough to come and see all the stuff that we have to offer, resources and everything for women in this oppressed world for women. Instead of going forward with women, it seems like we're going backwards. The rights are taken away and all sorts of things. So join us.
And where will this be held at? One more time.
At the library community room on the Civic Center Library at 300 North Highway 101.
Downtown Oceanside,
Yeah,
baby.
downtown
Downtown
Oceanside.
Oceanside.
Yeah, just go through these the gates, the gates, and
Community
that's where
room.
it's at. The community rooms, patio and community rooms.
March 8th from 11th until undetermined time yet.
Yes.
But later on that evening, find your way to Vista to hang out with us where we do our last cruise for CarQuest. It's going to be a great day for North County that day. Started off in Oceanside with these ladies representing the heroes and putting a spotlight on them. Come hang out with us for the car cruise. March 14th, come check us out with Master Killer at Booze Brothers. Wu-Tang Clan is going to be in the house. We have one of the members of the Wu-Tang Clan coming to Vista. And then March 15th, check it out, Farmers Cup. And I think that's all. That's all the shameless plugs I have.
All right, Louis. Great job.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you.
ladies, also great job. Thanks again for joining
Thank
us.
you.
And looking forward to the storybook. Looking forward to the outcome of March 8th. And, a little bit more into the future. Looking forward to Noche Mexicana again. And, of course, Dia de los Muertos event.
Yeah.
'Cause I know it's going to be great, Chema.
Yeah, that's
We'll
right.
see.
You do great.
We'll see with the. I'm hoping to keep our people safe for these events. With what's going on. So we're still going to continue to do it. We can't let any administration stop us from celebrating our culture.
Facts.
Love that. All right, well, we don't have Bruce today, but Bruce, I'm thinking about you, bro. So let me know when we're good. But everybody, thank you guys for tuning in to today's episode here at the Kick Labs. Thank you for stepping up with us. Thank you for talking up with us. Thank you for kicking it. Let's go.